This is King Shaka here with Joe Joseph New York,
Hello, everyone.
and welcome to another Team Jozu podcast. We have a spicy one for you guys. We're going to talk about the PS4 reveal and why it's so stupid. We also got World of Warcraft, just their another expansion. Expect another one in the next like 2 years. We got League of Legends news. We got some new champions in the NA. And we're also going to talk about a little bit about Doom here and their expansion that's supposed to come out on the September 13th for multiplayer. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, next we're going to talk about League of Legends, and holy shit, guys, a lot of shit has happened since the last time we talked about League of Legends. First of all, congratulations to Team Solo Mid, who are now the new NA LCS champions for the summer split. Congratulations to those guys. They've worked really hard to get there. Cloud9 came in second place, unfortunately. CLG did lose to Immortals, so Immortals did get third place. But however, since the league points do make things a little bit more interesting, the three NA teams that are actually going to Worlds are TSM, obviously, since they won. CLG are going to Worlds, even though they ended up in fourth place technically, because of how they accumulated points from winning the spring split, and as well as going to MSI and ended up in the position they were at now and making it into playoffs. You automatically get points. They're actually, because TSM won against Cloud9, they were automatically put into Worlds just because of how points laid out. So Cloud9 and Immortals had to go through the gauntlet. Cloud9 had to defeat Envy, which was a pretty easy 3-0. And then Immortals, they kind of had a lackluster performance in the playoffs. They end up losing to Cloud9, losing their spot at Worlds, and is now officially in their off season. A lot of people like to blame the side lanes, such as Huni and Wild Turtle, even though I wouldn't go as far to blame Wild Turtle, as because Adrian, their jungler, has spent a lot of time top lane because of Huni's over aggressive playstyle. And obviously, if your jungler is spending a lot of time top lane, then of course Cloud9's opposing jungler Meteos spends a lot of time in the bot lane because he knows there's no pressure that's going to come from the Immortals jungler because he's pretty much always top lane. So it's kind of a stretch to blame Wild Turtle's aggressive plays with that when he doesn't have the support necessary. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of work put in over the off season. Immortals is going to come back stronger than ever. They always have a strong regular split, but everyone knows that if you can't win a championship, then it really doesn't mean a whole lot, except for just not getting regulated out of the Pro Series. So once again, the teams that are going to Worlds are TSM, Cloud9, and Counterlogic Gaming. Hopefully, I have high hopes that TSM will make it out of the group stages and definitely into the finals. Their biggest competitor is going to be the SKT1, who have been very dominant when it comes to the world stage, but maybe they'll fall this year to the rising TSM. Cloud9 has looked stronger in recently, but the thing is, though, that Impact has been the main dominant person in Cloud9 that has really stand out. Now, Smoothie, he's definitely risen in his stature when it comes to the way he played early on. But overall, I would say their strong point definitely is their top laner. They do have to worry about Meteos, who could possibly go on tilt, which was pretty much shown in his playing versus TSM. Just making some over aggressive plays that TSM quickly punished. Counterlogic Gaming, there's a whole basket case of problems with Counterlogic Gaming right now. Yes, they made it to playoffs, but overall there was a lot of plays and choices that were to be desired. I know in an interview that Afromu had after losing to TSM is that they kind of were just basing their one play style on Aurelion Sol. I feel like your mid laner's champion pool and your plays should be expanded beyond that of one champion. But, I'm just a gold scrub, so I don't know how much that would.
Just a gold scrub, huh?
Yeah, I'm just a gold scrub, so I don't know how much that would actually carry its weight. But I will say, based on basic team mechanics, you don't want to solely rely on one person or one champion or one play, because that would make you a one-trick pony. But be very interested to see who comes out on top at Worlds. That's probably, hopefully not SKT. Otherwise, that would be 2 years in a row and their third championship at Worlds, I believe, if they win this year. But hopefully TSM can perform. They're definitely working hard every single day, as well as hopefully Cloud9 can perform and CLG can get things fixed up and perform really well. I will support all of the American teams since I am an American, and I will wave my flag even though you guys can't see it.
But he wants to.
So, and then next I'll talk about the 6.8 patch that just came out about a week ago, actually. And
Any big game changers?
oh, there's always that one patch that Riot has to release before Worlds, and pretty much it's a lot of changes here. We did get a new champion reveal for Yorick, who was reworked and redone and looks a lot more creepier than he did before. But what they pretty much did was take every champion that was played in the LCS and changed them a little bit. There was a lot of nerfs going around to a lot of top laners, such as Echo and Gnar, who were dominant in the past playoffs, as well as Shen, who was also nerfed. We did see some buffs, though, to a couple champions, but not really too big. Lee Sin did get a buff on his W. I'm just reading off the patch notes now. Pretty much doubling his early game lifesteal, so making him be able to sustain more in the jungle early on. Couple bug fixes. There was the classic bug fix that caused Aurelion Sol to be disabled for the playoffs, and that was his passive. When he's in a bush and can't be visible, you can see his passive. There's no way of hiding that. However, the way it was shown that his passive always showed him where he was at previously and not where his current location was. So that was revealed in the TSM versus CLG game, which is why he was disabled for the rest and why CLG probably faltered, because they were apparently dependent so much on that one champion. Vlad hit some pretty big nerfs. Overall, still strong champion, but probably won't see him competitive play. Talia received another nerf, targeting her wave clear as well as her just overall damage early, mid, and the late game. Also attacks on the jungler Rek'Sai, which we see in pretty much every single game in competitive that in the last playoff scene. It is such a high priority pick because of her early game capability of ganking, as well as just wave clearing as well. She's really good in wave clear and really good to gank with the way her kit works, which is another thing I feel like Riot does too much of, is they nerf a champion just because of how their kit is set up. And Rek'Sai really strong because of how her kit works. Pretty much can go through pretty much any wall with one of her abilities to attack from multiple angles, which makes a jungler more valuable than, say, someone like Nocturne, who has to go through certain aspects of a lane to gank until he's 6, where he pretty much can just dive anyone. But that'll be for another time to talk about the in-depth stats of why certain champions are nerfed or buffed. So it's mainly because Riot just want to see what will make them the most money. So, but that's all I have.
The Illuminati. There we go.
The Illuminati. Like for example, all these champions were highly played, or the majority of these champions are highly played in the competitive scene. So they want to see different champions played. They made, Misfortune's W, which increased their attack speed and damage over time.
They don't want to turn it out like Overwatch, where it's the same 5 characters over and over and over again.
Right, which
Both team runs the same characters because of their abilities and how they interact with each other and stack.
right,
But
it's whatever advantage you can get. And like for example, Shen, who is such a lane bully and who, because of his W, his W when he uses it blocks auto attacks, and so or basic attacks I would say. So he can taunt on someone which CCs them, Qs and Ws. So now that person can't auto attack for at least I think 1.5 seconds or 1 second. So they have to use their abilities, which top lane abilities aren't as bursty as say mid lane or AD carries. So it'll be interesting to see what team comps will be used in Worlds. See what people are scrimming with. I think overall, one thing I see is that Rise is going to be really strong. I see him a lot in mid lane and top lane. I think even though they did the nerfs to Gnar and Echo, especially Echo, really just took a base damage hit by 4. That's really not going to change his overall kit, I don't believe. He's going to build him a little bit more AP so he gets a little bit more out of his passive. And so that will pretty much correct that. That's pretty much it with all I have to say. There was some buffs to some champions, but not really too major that would make them, hey, this person's now going to play him for their pretty much the entire kit.
so no pulse buffs coming out where it just swings the whole lineup of the season.
Right. There's definitely going to be some champions prioritized over others now, but nothing that's going to cause a huge shift. You're definitely going to see some champions not played, such as the Vladimir. But you're probably going to see some champions such as Talia still playing competitive. Echo definitely. Shen definitely. Actually, might see a little bit less Shen. I'll have to see what champions top lane are really good at this point. I know Swain, pretty much a lot of Swain's counters have been nerfed, so we'll see Trundle. We might see a Trundle make a comeback with his armor shred, but we've been seeing him as support just because of the way his pillar works with the knockback. That didn't exist before, can really be utilized in team play since League of Legends is all now focused on their team play and not individual carries. But that's all I have to say about League. We'll have to see what happens in Worlds, what comps are played, and what people are scrimming with.
All right. Well, I have nothing to say about League, so maybe I'll learn a little bit eventually here and there listening to you. I'll be able to hang out with my League, pick some League friends, see what all they think. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that patch, it wasn't a good patch. I'm like, yeah, what do you think about it? I'm like, drop some knowledge. So, if you take anything away, a little bit of knowledge.
If you take anything away, Riot likes to nerf a lot of things that they think are broken. But that's for another discussion on why Riot nerfs certain champions and buffs certain ones. All right. Now moving on to World of Warcraft, we just got the new Legion expansion that came out on August 31st. Of course, WoW has to entice their new customers with a 100 level expansion, which upgrade, which I feel like is pretty dumb actually, because you really miss out on a lot of the lore if you enjoy lore or just the gameplay mechanics in general. But you know, that's what WoW likes to do to, you know, keep their subscriber base from diminishing faster than it is now. So we got new raids, new storylines, dead people, new kings, old kings, dead, dungeons, spoiler alert, someone dies, and new class, Demon Hunter class. So, you know, every other expansion we have to have a new class. Last class we got was the Monk class. So now we have the Demon Hunter class.
You don't have one of those per server, right? Pretty OP character, yeah, no?
You can have as many characters. I think you have up to like 8 characters, and doesn't matter what server you have them on. You're just limited by the number of characters, just not the number of characters by realm.
All right.
So
I know this, but yeah, everyone's giving it a 9. I definitely check it out, hang out, see what you think, revisit WoW, and
You know,
So,
I played the prequel to it. You know, it's very interesting. The problem is that they nerfed the hell out of the garrison, which I think is dumb because you can't tell people that you can, you know, get all this gold and don't have to pay for WoW because you know you're playing more of a game to build this gold in WoW. But now I guess people are abusing the system or whatever, and they decide to cut it. You know, all your missions like don't give. I get shitty amounts of gold from doing missions. I think get a lot more from raids and dungeons, but just the storyline missions don't give crap for gold, which I need to use for my other characters so they can get important shit. But
so you need gold.
right, that's the only thing that matters in the game is gold, so you can buy more shit. But that's all I have to say about WoW. Not a lot. There's other MMOs out there that are free and more fun, probably. Probably not. We'll see. Definitely play Destiny.
Yeah, that new Rise of Iron's coming out. They reset all their Iron Banner contracts. Get your new updated Galahorn, your new Sparrow. I will not be playing it, maybe for about 2 months. I still haven't decided if I want to jump back in. Every time I try, I just don't have a raid group anymore, so I haven't even played the last raid.
Yeah, that's the problem with Destiny is that you have to like know people, and it's not like I like about WoW is it can auto assign raids, and I feel like Destiny should have a mechanic like that.
Yeah, but console players are different than PC players. They'll just quit, never come back, or they'll grief you really bad. I don't.
Well, if you do a raid, then if you leave in the middle of a raid, then you should be penalized. Like you can't join a raid for like 24 hours or something because you left.
Again.
And ever again, you're banned from using all raids.
Banned from it forever. Yeah, but yeah, maybe another time I'll have to tell some Destiny raid stories from some scrubs I met off Bungie forums. Some of the most scumbaggy people, but that's about it.
Those forums, yeah, stay away from those forums.
Looking for raid groups. But yeah, moving forward.
Alright, so next we're going to talk about Doom. Apparently they're revealing some deathmatch thing for, I don't know if it's just for Xbox or is it for all platforms, which I hope it is. Some deathmatch in arcade mode as well as some private server stuff or private match stuff, which I don't know why you would need a private match for anything.
Hang out
With some guys, make some YouTube videos like, hey guys, we're in a private match.
Hey, what's up? Let's this game that's completely fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about Doom.
What's that thing like Google? What is it? Google
Trends.
Shows up Google Trends. Let's see where Doom lies in Google Trends.
I don't even think it's that far up on Steam charts.
No, I don't think games last very long on Steam. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if you look at the top 10 games, we got Dota, CSGO, Rocket League. Rocket League has to be the newest game to have so many people, as well as Ark. But then you got Sid 5. Football Manager has 40,000 people. Fallout 4, that's actually has made a comeback because you know Fallout 4 kind of disappeared for a while, and then they got the DLC, so people came back.
Where's Doom BFG Edition Rising?
Also Gary mods, and Rust has always consistently been up there.
Yeah, I've never played Rust. It's another one of those survival games, yeah.
Yeah, but for PC, there's only like 2,000 people on Doom at all for multiplayer. Now, I'm not saying Doom's bad, guys. Doom is actually pretty fun. I just haven't played it at all, so I just take my accounts from Joe. But I think the multiplayer is much to be desired. It needs a lot of fixing or something.
The multiplayer, it's fine. Nothing like fixing. There's nothing really broken in it. Nothing too bad. As far as the team deathmatch, I was looking that up, and I don't understand like the free for all why that wasn't. I just played team deathmatch, and they had some warpath and some other game modes. But why would you release a game without a deathmatch mode? Not once I saw you like, oh, they're releasing that, I was like, That wasn't already in it. It comes out without deathmatch.
Right, like a game like Doom should already have a deathmatch mode in
Yeah.
it. Like maybe a game like Assassin's Creed is not going to have a deathmatch mode, obviously, but shooters honestly should have some type of deathmatch mode.
And that's what has me thinking is, was this like planned to come out as one of the expansions or updates to bring players back into the game to improve its longevity? So like, oh, everyone's had a warpath and team deathmatch. Let's bring back regular deathmatch, hype it, say some free patch, and let's get some old players back in. But Doom's done a lot of things like that with their DLC. If one of your friends has a DLC, you both don't have to own it. So if you jump into a party with a friend, you can play the DLC maps regardless. So Doom's doing some interesting things. So looks like Bethesda wants this game to last for a while. And the private matches, everyone wants private matches. Whenever a game comes out that doesn't have private matches, it's kind of a letdown. It's always a big thing when a new game releases private match modes, like Rainbow Six custom games, or like things like that you could scrim with your friends or just hang out with, if you have friends, right? If you have
Right.
friends.
If you have to have friends, that's the prerequisite for games nowadays. You have to have friends to play the game.
Yeah. And that's
So-
why they don't want to. A lot of games don't have that because maybe they figure like, oh, a lot of people won't do private matches, but it's always in high demand. I'm still so thrown by this deathmatch inclusion. I know I played maybe 15 hours of Doom multiplayer, and it's fun. I mean, I had my good times with it. I doubt I will go back anytime soon,
Yeah,
even with all the DLCs. Maybe a single player DLC I'll revisit, but not my kind of. It's arcade shooter, and I got Call of Duty for that now, right? They're not even mil sim, or half of a mil sim. It's just an arcade shooter, arena shooter, I guess you could call it. But anyway, yeah. So what do you think of that DLC plan?
I don't understand why I'd have to have DLC for deathmatch and arcade mode. The problem is that for something like PC, I don't know what the hell a PSC is, but PC, multiplayer games, if it's strictly a multiplayer type of game, is going to have longer longevity than a game that has a single player mode and a multiplayer mode, such as Doom itself. Like there's only 2,000 people online, and the problem is it's because for some reason CS:GO can only be the only shooter on PC to right now there's 308,000
Is that the Call of Duty of
people.
consoles?
Right. It's the Call of Duty for PC, this CS:GO. Because every other shooter just ultimately fails. And I don't understand why. That's why I'm only play shooters on console, because I know there'll be people in the lobby to play with. Otherwise, I might as well just go on a damn pilgrimage and come back, and then maybe someone will join the lobby.
Yeah, we guys have Battlefield. That's a pretty big thing on PC as well.
Yeah, but the problem is Battlefield is done with EA. So I think for
Gen.
so I think for shooters, it's not CS:GO. I'm just stick with console, in which I'm also just debating whether or not, for the next gen console after the PS4 and PS4 Pros, when we get the PS5 or whatever the hell they call it,
PS5 Legend.
Legend.
PS4 Legend.
PS
After Pro.
throwback classic PS. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
throw-
classic version of the PS1, except they're gonna call it PS5 or something. PSX redone, revitalize.
But real quick, let's before we close out. Well, after we close out, Doom. Let's talk the cancellation of mods for PS4 for Fallout.
Oh shit!
What?
Well, that game's dead now.
Dead now. See, I'm not big of a big modder. I don't understand mods. I'm not a huge PC player, but I know that was a huge thing on Xbox, and I know Xbox was blowing up Sony's Twitter with we got backwards compatibility. I mean, Xbox is poised to overtake Sony right now in the console wars, even though they announced this is their last console generation, which is doubtful. But man, lack of mod support on PlayStation. What a misstep again.
It's
Is that what you think?
it's whoever's in management at Sony's, you'll probably soon get fired. See, the thing about mods is that it enhances the game's experience or make games more fun. So games like Skyrim, which is a huge modding game, It's like DLC for free essentially. And that's what it's so fun about it's because it's just open to a player's imagination. Like when I play Skyrim, I could find a mod to make a dragon super tiny, or I could find a mod that would completely change how Tamriel looks. Like there's like a beach mod where everything is like a beach, and there's also the like animals will change too. Like instead of bear, like the polar bear or whatever, you get like some saber tooth. You get like a tropical bear, or even areas tropical, like a brown bear, and you get like different tropical tigers or birds or tropical birds. Even though the mod is kind of broken, but just fun stuff like that. Also, mods that just help enhance the game itself in terms of graphics. Like there's a Clearwater mod, there's a Hands Town mod, and all that type of stuff. It just helps enhance the gaming experience so you get the most out of a game without having to purchase more DLC. So canceling, not having DLC support is, I mean, not having mod support, it just depends on the type of game. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, you don't need mod support honestly for console. There's really no need. But for like games like Skyrim, which Skyrim is supposed to be remastered and coming out sometime this year, PC is going to be the way to go because you can't mod jack squat. Probably on PS4, maybe on Xbox, since they're trying to make an Xbox a PC, which they should just make a PC gaming rig, honestly, that has the Xbox skin on it, like they do with Steam boxes, which Steam boxes really aren't worth getting. Just build your own PC. But that's for another discussion on Steam boxes or consoles or PCs that try to break the consoles. Right.
Yeah, all of that fanciness. But yeah, that's all I just wanted to hit last topic on.
Yep. One last thing is since we're getting closer to Halloween, there's a lot more indie games coming out, so definitely worth giving those a look at. We have games that I'm playing on Zulu Gaming Studios called Curse. You're playing as a paranormal investigator in this house where shit goes down.
It goes down in that house.
It goes down immediately, very quickly. It's not really that much of a jump scare, but more of a just atmospheric type of horror, which is really cool, actually. I think so. There's one house which I haven't played yet, but definitely will look into because it's $2.99. You always get me with the cheap prices, and that's also I think a more atmospheric type game. You play this. They call you a hero. You're a hero in this house, and then there's like evil voices from downstairs, so you investigate that. And then there's Ian's Eyes, where you play as a sightseeing or blind seeing dog who are helping a blind kid get through the horrors that are around him. So very interesting indie games coming out. I'm really interested to see as we get closer to Halloween what games will come out from the indie side, because I feel like that's where indie really shines, is with the horror aspect of things as well as platformers. So that's all I have to say about that, though. Definitely.
That is all I gotta say about that.
Right.
Yep. As far as what is my stream, Joe Joseph New York on the YouTube, we will be streaming Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
the usuals, the classics.
The classics. Overwatch. What? I'm looking at my PlayStation home screen. What do I got pulled up? Revisiting some Overwatch today. You missed it. Uncharted is gonna be beating that on stream. 7 Days to Die. Ooh, that's been a popular stream.
That's pretty much Joe's only horror stream he'll probably do.
So I got all kinds of horror. I got The Evil Within. I got a bunch. I just gotta get in on the horror stream months, man.
You just gotta just gotta do it when it's daylight out, because if you do it when it's at night, you're not gonna want to do it.
I mean, I got my Xbox 360 downstairs. I'm sure I could run up, grab some Dead Space, do some horror streams, or go buy a Silent Hill. Maybe Bioshock. I will be buying that on a Wednesday or Tuesday, as well as Mafia 3. So there's some interesting games coming up. Maybe create a third or fourth channel, just upload random video games to it. Who knows? Right? Who knows?
Joe, just upload them to the Team Jozu channel.
I
gotta get more content on that. We are working on some stuff for Team Jozu. I'm working on Dark Souls 3 for it. Joe's working on something for it.
I always got something.
Joe's doing. He's either doing Ratchet or Clank or Doom.
Yeah, I just had to reinstall Ratchet and Clank. We'll both do a
BioShock.
dual comms through it. Let everyone know. You'd be like, Joe, what? So tell me about this game. I'd be like, it's $40. Go buy it.
Right.
Discover it yourself.
Discover the wonderfulness that is the Ratchet Clank, which I really hope they remaster it. Honestly, just all of them.
They're all on PS Now, so you can buy that subscription, stream them in blurry pixels, and you will relive your youth.
Or
like
just
the way it
go
looked.
on PS3 and buy the game itself. And
Or if you have your
actually
PS3
have
upstairs
it.
like I do, and just go plug it into your capture card, and it'll be just fine.
Right, and actually enjoy the game and not wonder what the hell you're looking at most of the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was I playing? Oh my goodness, Operation Flashpoint, man. I was like, I couldn't even beat a level anymore. It was so bad at the upload. I was just like, what is happening? Anyway, look at the stream. You'll see. You'll be like, Joe, this looks like it belongs in 2001. Well, that's all I got.
All right, so thank you guys for coming out and watching, and hopefully we'll get some more content out for you guys. You know, I'm super busy. Joe's super busy. Well, at least Joe tells me he's super busy, but I don't believe him half the time. But
I'm super busy playing Rainbow Six Siege.
right, playing the classics. So
Yeah, I have to like make my girlfriend leave my room so I can start recording, or the living room so I can record all this. I'm like, babe, come on, I gotta talk nerdy. Get out of here.
But
You're
definitely check out our channels. They'll be in the link in the description of what we do individually. And
Wait, hold on. Do the smash that like button, hit the subscribe.
exactly, I'm a poor college kid, and Joe's probably poor too. So we need you guys to make us big enough so we can get a Patreon, so we can exploit money from you. I'm just kidding. No, we don't do that.
We won't do that. We won't do the.
We won't do that
Thanks.
just
Fuck.
yet.
Yeah, good time.
All right. See you guys in the next video or podcast. Later.